Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for another edition of Late Vibes. And with the man them in the building, we've got man like Ash. Ash, how you doing, bro? Feel all good?
Yeah, all good, chilling. I mean, it's been this week's just been watching the Liverpool game, the highlights over and over again, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? Just the Kobbie Mainoo. Do you know what I mean? England. I don't know if you've seen the clips of him, his defensive abilities there over at England, and yeah, vlogs doing well as well. Up to 87K on the what's it called on YouTube and that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I left that like I think it was on 15K when I watched it. So big up, man. Big up, man.
Yeah, so, it's doing 120K on TikTok as well. Do you know what I mean? I did a shortened version on it. So yeah, so that's all doing nice and yeah, good times, man. Do you know what I mean? Apart from this news, which had to be spoiled. You know, we can't have any fun as United fans, can we? Do you know what I mean? We can't enjoy ourselves for a week for like 4 or 5 days. We get hit with this news, so we'll talk about it. But yeah, all the boys all right, chat's enjoying themselves, and yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, man. Big up, man. Big up, man. Double A's wearing the 2002. You know what I mean? Brazil kit. Is it?
Well, no, it's the 0406, but it's a training top. Bro,
is it?
Bro, it's a training top, to be fair. But yeah, you know I'm Brazil, so mate, counting down for when we're gonna smack up Southgate's boys on Saturday. Do you know what I mean?
Yo, trust me, man. Trust me. Big up to you, man. And we've got Staffy in the building from New York, man. What are you saying, Staffy, man?
It's all good, bro. All good. I haven't been here since we beat Liverpool, so I feel like I've been away for a while. But yeah, listen, it was good news until today. I refuse to make the Southgate news ruin my mood. You know, the international break. All we're doing is rewatching the Ahmad goal and rewatching the Liverpool game and talking about everything else but that. And I'm not from Brooklyn. What is this notion that I'm from Brooklyn? I have never said that. I'm from Brooklyn.
I was gonna say, man, he's not from Brooklyn. He's not from Brooklyn, man. You know what I mean? So
big up for having me,
yeah,
bro.
man.
You gotta smash a like and subscribe.
Yeah, big up, man. Tapping Tome says Saeed Staffy the only non-northern on the panel, man. But listen, this is what we do.
We bring a variety here.
That's what listen, he's North USA, innit? Do you know what I mean? He's still a North USA. Do you know what I mean? So.
Hey, but to be fair though,
from North America,
it's normally one Northerner. To be fair, on YouTube, to be fair, so
yeah,
got the balance in our favor for once. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm a rare breed, so make sure they don't shut me down. I'm trying to shut me down. I'm not from the Bronx, I'll tell you that for sure. I'm definitely not from the Bronx.
100% not, 100% not, man. Listen, big up to everyone locked in, man. Hit the like button, man. You get me? Big up to everyone who's locked in. And big up to you, mate. He says, why don't you want Southgate? He's won. Oh, wait. Yeah, exactly. Oh, wait. Nothing. But you know what it is? Before we get into like the Neville and Keane waffling on overlap today, yeah. Where is everyone's heads at in terms of this Southgate thing? Is it just one of them, like, you know them kind of stories, yeah, where you wanna just like say it's not happening. You don't want to believe it. You want to brush it under the carpet. You feel like it's a non-story, but it's there. It's lingering. You know what I mean, guys? Like, I believe it's not going to happen. I've got this notion in my head. Southgate is not going to be the manager. But the more I see these reports coming out, the more I see these rumors. I'm not saying it's believable, but I'm just like, man, nip it in the bud, man. I don't want to see Southgate here. You know what I mean, bro? Yeah, I'd rather keep Ten Hag. I tell people, man, I'd rather keep Ten Hag.
It's worrying with a club that's got so many leaks that nothing's come out squashing this already. It's been a couple of days now.
Yeah.
And the fact that the club haven't said anything and backed Ten Hag is the only thing for me I would say is a bit worrying in that. I agree with you. I don't, let's be clear. And the bottom line is he's nowhere near good enough to manage Manchester United, regardless of if he's Ashworth's best man at his wedding or his stepbrother or whatever it is. That this reason why he fancies him or he likes him, we all know he's not good enough to manage Manchester United. So that for me is enough for them to think we may like him, but we know and probably what you've seen so far on social media is, and they will be tapped into social media as Manchester United always are. This fan base aren't going to tolerate Southgate being a manager of Manchester United. It just won't be allowed, and the fans will speak, and the fans will be heard on that. He's not going to manage Manchester United. Personally, for me, he struggled to manage Sheffield United. That's the level he struggled to get to that level. I don't think he's that good enough. Like his last job was what 2007, Middlesbrough. The last I was on with Adam yesterday, and the chat told us the last player he bought. And I thought I'd ask this question. The last player he bought was Alfonso Alves, the striker that flopped.
A Brazilian one.
The
Brazilian one.
Long ago, this guy was in club management. That's how long ago he was in club management. Now, his first job, and let's be honest, with England, he's flopped. He's failed because he's got the best crop of English players, you would say, since the Gerrards and the Scholes and the Ferdinands and Lampards and all these. The fact that 2 tournaments, he very well should have won one, got to the final of another, and potentially should have got even further in 2022. The man's not built for the big occasion. He's in tournaments where England should be smashing it and dominating. He can't do that with the best crop of players we've seen for a very, very long time. Now, I'm not an England fan, as you can tell. So I have to say to every United fan, we have to hope that England flop in the Euros, to be honest with you, because I think if and when they do, I think it'll be like, well, he clearly can't manage his club. And we know how volatile and the pressure that is on Manchester United managers when they are world-class or, had world-class CVs like Van Gaal and Mourinho come here and don't do well. So for a manager that's not managed in club football for nearly 20 years or however long it is, he can't just jump into a job like Manchester United. It just isn't going to happen. And I don't think he'll be afforded the time that we need to build something. He just won't be the man to do it, regardless if this new structure love him and want him to be the man or not. I don't think.
Yeah, 100%, man. You know what I mean? Listen, I look at it from a point of view of, even if he does well and if he doesn't well, I think Ineos, you know what I mean, still got to stay clear of this guy, man. But I just looked at that Ashworth picture, man. I was like, yo, man, these guys got history, But we got to realize Omar Barada's got big keys to this situation as well. He's got big decisions to make as well. So it's not only just going to be Dan Ashworth and Ineos. You know what I mean? Omar Barada doesn't really have any familiarities with him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, yo, man, just get this guy away from us, man. I'm seriously like, you know what it is, yeah? It's just like, there's so many managers available. You know what I mean? There's so many other managers. The merry-go-round, you've seen it, De Zerbi, Hansi Flick, you've got Nagelsmann wanted to leave. You've got all these managers basically saying, yo, I'm available. And Southgate is the one that is on the cards. Like, come on, man. Let's not do this. You know what I'm saying to you? Let's not do this. And that's what I'm saying. Like, for us as fans, we want to see a bit of hope, man. You go get Southgate, you're back 5 years back, man. You know what I mean? Because tactically, you have to then sack him after what? A year, 2 years if it don't work out well. And then you have to find another manager. So it's like one of them where I'm like, yo, we don't need setbacks, man. We need to move forward. You get me? We need to move forward. Simple as that. Need to move forward, man.
And how is it with the only club I've seen him being linked with a club management job with? I've not seen him linked with any other club. It's always Manchester United. Even before, was it around the Ollie time as well? He was linked with us. It's not the first time he's been linked with us.
Yeah, you know what? It's true. He was linked with us on the Ollie time as well. I remember.
But that probably shows you the stature and the joke that we are. That we're the ones getting linked with, a inferior manager. That no other big club, big six club, or any club we're wanting to be on the same level as would look in his direction at all. It just wouldn't happen. So
is it happening though? Double A. That's the thing though. Do you know what I mean? Is that his agent? Because he's up for a job, isn't he? He wants a job after this. I don't think he stays in England role after this tournament.
No.
So is he kind of leaking things himself to kind of put himself out there? Because you know what it is being United fans. We're always seeing so many different players that are linked to us, and it never materializes. And I'm just looking at it from that perspective of like, hopefully this is just a load of nonsense. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't take the man seriously. As we were saying a little bit earlier, he's failed for England. He's done nothing with potentially one of the best teams in world football at the time. Now we can talk about the Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes, Ferdinand, that era, Rooney, and all that. But that team was up against some big teams. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in this era, really, we've only had France. Do you know what I mean? During Southgate's era, that's really been the dominant team. Do you know what I mean? And we probably should have beat him. And it was down to Gareth Southgate why we didn't beat him. The player of the tournament, and he doesn't even start him. Do you know what I mean? Marcus Rashford. Like what we're talking about, he was on fire, Marcus. Okay, he's not been great for us recently, but during that tournament, he was on fire, scoring goals. Doesn't start and brings him on late, and Kane misses and all that. But I mean, for me, he's failed his debut already. You know, if he wants a big club, I don't think there's, like you were saying there, Double A, I don't think there's any other big club in world football. You look at Bayern, you look at Barca, you know, they're not looking at Gareth Southgate. Could you imagine those two clubs, any links to Gareth Southgate, do you know what I mean, during this the next summer? It's madness. I'm just hoping. Saeed saying about links with Dan Ashworth and stuff, but Omar Barada's got links with De Zerbi, hasn't he? So it's, you know, is it going to be a little bit of an internal war there? Who knows? I'm praying, I'm hoping. I mean, hoping England fails at the Euros, it wouldn't be such a bad thing, would it? Do you know what I mean?
Pray FC, man. You know what I'm saying? Big up Zamiak says, let the battle commence. Arteta versus Southgate. Bloody hell, man. They might have tried to banter us and that. It's crazy, man. Rather have Gary Neville than Southgate. Listen, let's bring up the comments today, man, from the overlap today. So basically, they were talking about it today, yeah, and he says here, I think this is Keane saying this. Well, obviously, everyone's thinking he's probably going to be England manager this summer if he has a good championship, thinking if they could win it. And if they didn't, then maybe they're thinking maybe you ran your race with him. His connection with Dan Ashworth, who has worked with previously, yeah, I'm not surprised with it. Gary Neville then shares a verdict, says, I never saw Gareth Southgate as a Man United manager. Psychologically, I never saw that. I can see it now. Now Dan Ashworth has come in. I just think, what does Terry Hag need to do to stay as manager? For instance, the FA Cup, is it good enough, or does he need to get top four? I think Gareth is leaving. I think, to be honest with you, you'll have seen it in this tournament, but that it's never been easy. England will have qualified set up, starting up again in a couple of months after the tournament, so they'll have to have a new manager in. And Gareth will need to sort his future out and get a club for potentially the start of the season. So I think it's done maturely. I can see how it would be brought forward in terms of Gareth. Forget Man United, England would have need to adopt a new manager, blah, blah, blah. But this point here, I think this is the best bit here. You see Gareth Southgate, yeah, stand-up guy. You can see how it could be, but you shouldn't talking about him now. It's out of order. You know what's strange about it is when you listen to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, how he admires Arsenal's patience with Arteta, which obviously the FA Cup gave him now. It gives me the impression that Sir Jim is going to give Sir Jim time. It feels like it's going to talking about Arteta and patience. I see Gareth standing along the line, the way he's been dressed, his demeanour. I could see him. He's got the stature to be a Manchester United manager. Yo, listen, that's crazy, man. That there, I think this is Roy Keane said that, to be fair. You know what I mean? Man said, yeah, I see Gareth Southgate standing on the line and the way he's dressed and his demeanour. I could see him. He's got the stature to be a Man United manager.
Nah, yeah, they're all under the same managerial agency. I'm speculating, but they've got to be, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? They're all under the same agents. Do you know what I mean? It can't be this.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But you know what it is, though? It's just it's funny, isn't it, man? It's like, you know what I mean? This man coming on here and talking about, like, it's got a stature, bro. Ten Hag should have been the stature. You know what I mean? And he couldn't handle it, man. You need a manager who can handle the pressure, man, and isn't going to fold and isn't going to, you know, abandon his philosophy. You need a manager who's going to come in and tell these players what go on. You know what I mean? And for so long, you haven't seen that. You know what I mean? So I feel like we need a manager who's going to come in, implement his style, and make sure we have an identity. That's what we need, man. And Southgate, what's he going to do?
What is Southgate's style? Do we even know that Southgate's style? Do you know what I mean? He's gone from a 3-5-2, 4-2-3. What do you know what I mean? I don't even think he's got a style, a set style. So if he is going to come in, there's going to be style questions all over again because he doesn't know what he's doing with these players. One thing you can say, one thing you can be positive about is you got the best out of Maguire, and imagine that means we're going to be stuck with Maguire for another 2 years. Do you know what I mean? With a free
captain again straight away,
Captain Maguire.
Imagine.
You know what I mean? Mason Mount in the midfield.
We beat Liverpool, by the way, boys. We beat Liverpool 4-3. Do you know what I mean? You know, it was a cracking victory.
Can't even enjoy it. And you get this bullshit fed out to you straight away. Yeah. And, you know, the biggest thing people can say about him is Yeah, but the man management is fantastic. Look how we had that with Ollie, and look how that fucking
That's what I'm saying, man.
went to pot. Like I don't want that again. What I want is someone who is the top class manager, best of the best. That's what we should be getting linked with. All these managers that get linked with, Liverpool jobs or Barca jobs or buying jobs, we should be in them conversations. And someone in chat said, well, you're not buying them Barca. No, we're probably bigger than them both. And that's why we should be at the forefront of all this. Should be looking at scraps like fucking Gareth Southgate. It's if anything, I'm not even pissed off yet. I'm just embarrassed. That's the only thing I can say about it. I'm embarrassed that my club has fallen so bad, and it'll come round and I'll say it every single time, and it's fucking boring because of the Glazers. How we have fallen so bad that this is allowed to happen. That these managers that are nobodies that have never won anything in their careers as a manager can be linked with the Manchester United job. And you know what? This is why, and I've always been skeptical of Sir Jim. If this is what we're going to be fed, and we've said it so many times that they're bringing the Manchester back in Manchester United and this British core. If it's bringing in shit substandard, I don't want most of the England players, and the best England players aren't going to come to United because they play for City, they play for Arsenal, and they play for Liverpool. So they're not going to come to Manchester United. So who is this best of the rest that we're meant to get? I don't know who it is. So if we're looking at shit England players and shit England managers to have this British core, no, I don't want it because it's not worth it because the best teams in this country don't have British cores. So why should we have it? Because we used to have it with a class of 92. And if you're basing everything off the class of 92, then you're living further in the past than the Glazers are. So that tells me again that you're a problem for this club. So if this is what Sir Jim's going to bring, again, I'll say it. He's just a British Glazer, and that's pretty much how I see it.
Wow. You know what? Yeah, there was a guy. Yeah, big up to Sky Nisa, because a lot of people. I think Temi made a tweet today. Yeah, talking about he likes the way Jim Ratcliffe, talks in it. And the guy messaged under Nice fans saying, "Yeah, he did the same thing at Nice." You know what I mean? So be careful what you hear or whatnot. I'm trying to say. So I was like, "Yo, like, geez." But then again, Man United's a different kettle of fish, though, to Nice, though, innit? With all due respect, what I'm saying to you, but listen, man. I just look at us, yeah. We need to have quality, man. Forget all this Brexit ball. Forget all of this, nonsense. We need quality, man. This team needs quality. You can see it from the spine. A lot of them need to go. You need someone to come in, proper recruitment, fresh impetus. And you just want to see a team compete, man. That's all we want as fans. We want a manager that comes in, and sees us compete, for major honours. And see us compete. Not even major honours, just at least try to compete. You know what I mean, bro? Like, that's the main thing for United fans. We're just sick of being told we can't compete and we've got injuries and we've got this. You know what I mean, bro? Like, we want to see us taken seriously, man, because too many times, yeah, my United fans have been laughing stocks and we have to put ourselves out there, you know what I mean, and trying to trust the process. There ain't no process, man. You know what I mean, bro? You got to be stern, you got to be decisive, and you got to know what you want. Simple as that, man. You know what I'm trying to say?
Say this club. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. He was asking.
Yeah, what I was going to say, Staffy, this club's dead if we get Southgate. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think international players, who's going to want to come to the club? Who's going to want to play for Gareth Southgate? Can you imagine it? Do you know what I mean? Going into boardrooms, going into meetings with players. Like, we don't even know about his recruitment. I mean, you look at Middlesbrough when he was manager of Middlesbrough. I mean, he's the reason why that club is pretty much defunct now. Do you know what I mean? He drowned that club. Middlesbrough fans know it. Do you know what I mean? He's shown nothing at a league level, and I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. But go ahead, Staffy, because it's madness. This,
It is. But listen, here's the thing. I don't know how much you guys believe it. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't really believe it that much. I feel like every here and there we get linked with Southgate because there's always rumors that this is going to be his last tournament. They said that this is going to be his 4th tournament. So you've had this happen about 2 to 3 times. So I'm not really surprised by it. Do I believe it? Not really. But let's talk about it as it's being like, let's just pretend that I do believe it and it is true. And, it's not hypothetical like I think. It would be an absolute embarrassment because how many times do you hear Southgate's name being thrown around with other clubs? You don't really hear it. You don't hear it. Like Klopp announced how long ago that he's leaving. I don't remember him being linked to Liverpool. And Liverpool know that they need another manager. Like we're just talking about the idea of Ten Hag leaving. We're not confirmed that he's leaving. We have a manager going into the summer. We just don't know if we're going to get a new one or not. Another club that needs a manager wasn't linked to him. I never heard Southgate's name being rumored with Arsenal. And how long have they had an issue with Arteta? Arteta in, Arteta out, Arteta in, Arteta out, until like they finally competed for the league last year. I feel like we're the only club that gets associated with these names. But then when people like us sit here and we say, no, we want the best that's out there right now. Obviously, every year there's a new manager on the block. You know, every time we mention these managers' names next to us, people laugh at us. They're like, no, you can't get them because they'll pick Bayern, they'll pick Barcelona, they'll pick Madrid. But then they also laugh at us when we get associated with the likes of Southgate and them. So it's like, are we not meant to get a good manager? You either laugh at us or you just say these guys are not good enough for us. At the end of the day, listen, the fact that this guy hasn't had a club job for 15 years, because when did he get sacked? In 2009? He hasn't had a job.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so if my math is correct, something around that, maybe a little bit more than that. So he hasn't been in a job for that long. He's been managing internationals. I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't remember the last time a manager left an international job into an elite club job. I don't remember that ever happening. It's usually the other way around. Elite club managers, they tend to get a little bit washed and then they send them to internationals where it's a little bit of a part-time job, not a full-time job like running a club. It's never the other way around. So that's why I'm looking at this and I find it hard to believe. Is it because of the Ineos thing and Sir Jim? Honestly, maybe. Do you think if Qatar bought us, they would have been talking about that? Yeah, it's the British connections. I feel like it just sells a story. Like, I feel like if Qatar was our owners right now, we would have never been linked to them. Like, why would anyone in Qatar look at us and be like, you know who's the best man for the job? The guy who's been with England since 2000 and I don't know what and hasn't won anything. Because this guy's been in the England job for a while. Honestly, let's just say, because I saw traps in the comments saying, Double A, just say he's a scrub. I'll say it for him, bro. Don't worry about it. I'll say it for him. Southgate, bro. Listen, let me tell you something. Southgate is a scrub, okay? I never watch when I watch international football. First of all, I don't support the USA. I usually just pick any team that I think, okay, this is the best team in the tournament. Not the favorites to win it, but the best team to watch at least. I never look at this England team and I'm like, you know what? Southgate got them playing champagne football. They're playing Joga Bonita that I need to watch them. You know, see that Brazil jersey that you have over there? Double A? These are the teams that we want to watch. No one watches England saying they're going to play good football. This whole thing that he reached a Euros final in, what is it, 2 semifinals? Something like that in the World Cup?
Yeah.
Bro, let's just be really honest. You never faced anyone good. You arguably should have been winning these tournaments. Because Double A, you said it perfectly earlier. That English generation back in 2004, I would say 2003, around that time, that team was so good, but they went against elite international sides. I mean, I feel bad for anyone here who's about 20 years old or younger because you guys didn't really watch real football like we did. We grew up watching the best international football out there. You would go into a World Cup and there was about 4 or 5 favorite teams, and you never knew who was going to win it. You would go into Euros and it's the same thing. Anyone could win it. You look at the internationals in the past couple tournaments, there hasn't been that many good teams. Hence why teams like Croatia was able to reach semifinals after semifinal because the big boys have been down. Look at
the standards have gone down. Yeah,
who has Southgate beaten in his career? Side the biggest team he's beaten was Germany, a washed Germany side, and I forgot what the score was, but it wasn't even like it was still a close game. And then you lost the Euros in your own backyard in Wembley. Like, why are we acting
against the
like
poor Italy team as well? Against the poor Italy team, and
the team was so bad they won the Euros and didn't make the World Cup.
Yeah,
like that's just. I feel like people don't understand sometimes the things that they're saying. Like, you need to understand he has never been anyone significant. Even that one run in the World Cup in the semifinals when they lost to Croatia.
No, they played Sweden and that, man.
They didn't play anyone. You beat Lindelof. The only team that
It took penalties against Colombia. Do you know what I mean? We had to go penalties to beat Colombia.
Penalties against Colombia. You beat Sweden, and then you ran into Croatia. Remember how difficult the bracket was on the other side? The England bracket was the best side. Remember, because England played Belgium on the last day of the group stages, and the loser of that game was going to get the easy side of the bracket. That's why when England lost, no one was upset because they're like, yo, we got the easy side. All the big boys are on the other side, the Frances and them. And then they got the easy side, couldn't even make the final. This guy's a scrub, bro. This guy's an absolute scrub, and I want him nowhere near my team. I honestly, I don't know. I think LB said it to me the other day. He said, if Southgate gets the job, shame on you YouTubers if you do United content. And honestly, bro, I hear it, bro. How can I wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and I'm like, welcome to my channel. We're doing a watch along today for Southgate's United. Bro, I'd be embarrassed, bro. I'd be embarrassed. I swear I'd have to sell my equipment and be like, yo, Saeed, don't hit me up for shows no more. I retired. I can't do it no more.
100%, man. England 96 Euros, best ever, Shearer, Sheringham. And the 96 Euros, I think, wasn't that the one that he missed the penalty in?
Missed the penalty and then did a Pizza Hut advert. Man, I don't want no one that's been in a Pizza Hut advert being the manager before.
Oh.
Are you mad? Fuck off.
That is mad.
Let me just speak on that for a second. You know what's horrendous with that? With the fact that he missed the penalty in such a high-profile game, and then he goes on to be a manager. He understands the pressure and what it takes and what it means to miss a penalty for your nation. Do you know what I mean? You know, the world's football nation, and then he goes in the Euros and he puts on two young lads off the bench, cold, into the most pressure environment. Like, if anybody knew what it meant to take a penalty under the most pressure, it was him. And yet he does that to Saka and Rashford in the last minute of the game, bringing them on. I mean, that in itself was a sackable offence for England. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because Grealish was there. Remember, Grealish could have took the penalty. I don't know why Grealish didn't take the penalty. There was a couple of other seniors that were there. You know what I mean? So
shitbags. That's right. Shitbags.
Yeah, man. 100%.
This guy has one of the most talented English sides that I've seen in a while, and he still calls up Henderson. Like, come on, man. Like,
bro,
come on. Like,
that's gonna be our McTominay, man. You know what I mean? It's like having Mainoo in the midfield, and he says, "Nah, man, I'm gonna play Henderson."
Yeah, and Mainoo's not gonna play, bro. He was a last minute addition, anyways. Like, imagine that. No, really. Like, he watched that Liverpool game and he's like, fuck, maybe I do have to call up this kid. If it really took you to the last minute to understand that this kid should be called up instead of bringing scrubs like Calvin Phillips and them that don't even play anymore, then I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's actually shocking because he should be. I understand the age, but there's no one that looks at these players and they're like, you know what? I don't know if I should get him. Let's get Henderson, who was just in Saudi Arabia. Then he fucked off Saudi Arabia and he went to Ajax, one of the worst Ajax sides that we've seen in recent times. Bro, it's not rocket science, bro. The guy's a scrub.
100%, man. 100%. Big up to everyone locked in, man. There's nearly 700 in the building. Get them likes up, man. We're not even got to 200 likes, which is, I don't know what you lot are doing, man. You know what I mean? It's a thumbs up button. It's free to do so. Helps our channel massively. And yeah, man, big up to everyone who's locked in. I wanted to talk about the striker option, man. You know what I mean? I was meant to do on the Mandem talk yesterday, but we didn't have time because it was just, if you watched the Mandem talk yesterday, it was crazy. But Fabrizio Romano was saying that we're going in for a striker this summer, yeah. What are we saying? Because I'm looking at the market right now. It's not great, you know what I mean? What are you lot saying in terms of market? People are saying Gyökeres, who scored today for Sweden. I mean, who's out there, man? Ivan Toney, you know what I mean? He's there. You've got
Vlahovic. Osimhen's not going to leave.
Osimhen's not going to leave. Yeah. What are you, man, saying, though, for this striker situation? Because I ain't going to lie to you, man. I want Ivan Toney, but then I feel like this guy's just kind of moving like a, you know what I mean? He's moving a bit mad, you get me? Like, he's moving a bit stush, you get me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, yo, I really want to go here, but then I want to, you know, come on, man.
You're saying that, though, Saeed. Listen, he's got United personality, Tony. Do you know what I mean? We like the big boys. We like the outspoken players. Yeah. We've had the Cantonas, the Rooneys. Do you know what I mean? The big boys who come out and kind of talk, the brash players. I like Tony. Imagine him on our social media. Do you know what I mean? And as a player, and he's clearly got the talent. He's clearly got the ability. He's coming into his prime. He's one of the only really gettable strikers that has the potential to go on to be a top tier striker. The only thing we don't know about him, the only question marks that are with him is, can he do it on the biggest stage? You know, he's he's never played in the Champions League in Europe and all that. Whereas you look at other players like the Vlahovic, like your Osmans, like your Seskos, even those have played on the big stage. So, but I feel like Tony's got that kind of a personality to go and play for United. So someone who I'd like to see, and someone who's proved himself, although I feel like he gets done by Twitter a lot, is Lautaro Martinez. For the last 5 seasons, he's been 20 plus goals. I like him. He's solid. He's great in the build-up play. He's coming into his prime. I mean, to get 20 plus goals a season for the last 4 or 5 seasons in the Serie A, top defensively, very tactical, very technical. I mean, for me, you look at someone like him, and I feel like he's ready to step up another level, considering what, he's 26, I believe. But yeah, Tony, I think, we can't have a young striker. I don't think we can have a young striker. We've already got that, and I feel like that is the potential to cause a little bit of issues between 2 young strikers. I think we need an older striker to kind of bring Højlund under his wing and give him a little bit more experience.
I personally think your profiles are wrong. It needs to be a backup. We can't. This club, first of all, aren't going to spend X amount on a big striker like Tony or Martinez, because they've just spent a shitload on Højlund, who rightly so I think should be our leading man, 21 years old or not. I think it needs to be someone who can accept being more of a squad player and maybe playing alongside him. Maybe if it's someone who can play out wide. I know people say that Højlund can do that a little bit. He has done it in the past. For me, I disagree with Tony massively on what you're saying, Ash. I don't think he's got the attitude to be a Manchester United player. I just think he's a bit of a prick, if I'm honest with you. I don't think he's got that arrogance in his confidence in his ability. I just think he's a bit of a knobhead. Like, you think the way he's disrespected Brentford time and again, after they backed him, and this is the one thing that really grinds my gears about him. He was walking around like he'd been hard done by. Like, no, you got caught betting. Like, you going on this like self-pity tour, like, people just been taking the piss out of me, and yeah, mate, because you was in the wrong betting when you're not supposed to as a football player. Like, and it's this whole the world's against me kind of thing when you put yourself in that position. So listen, I don't think if he comes to Manchester United and he doesn't play well straight away, I think we see the worst of this side of Ivan Toney. As much as I think he is a great footballer, I agree with you on that. I think if he was to come in as the main man, his talent alone, he would do well at Manchester United. I think outside of the pitch, we've bought too many players who are like him, who have this ego, who have this attitude of I'm bigger, and I think we massively need to move away from that. I agree, we don't need a young striker. I know we've been linked with Sesko, and apparently he's friends with Højlund, and that could work, but you're not going to be friends for long when one of you is keeping the other out of the team. Do you know what I mean? And that's
I was going to say
where that rivalry is going to come in, and become friends all day. Do you know what I mean? But
let me ask you a question though. So you're saying you believe in Højlund to be Man United's number 9 for next season? Still, I still think for me there should be another number 9 competing for his spot.
Always,
and I mean
always. Always should be. They always should be. But we're not in the two strikers. We could have York and Cole, Sheringham and Solskjaer. We're not in that anymore. You have your main guy and another guy that comes in and plays, but has to be at a top level as well. Like, you're not going to have 2 Haalands. You have Haaland and you have Alvarez. Like,
you could play 2 next season, AA. Actually, I was going to ask you guys that.
I don't think
you guys see
better the manager.
I don't think he will.
I'll tell you the thing, though. Obviously, it depends on the manager.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you do have Højlund, who played in a system before where he was a second striker. Only currently plays in a system where he's a second striker. There is a world where both of them coexist. It's just a matter of if it's United or not. Because when you look at the profiles we've had, I mean, Rashford, honestly, in the system where we play 2 strikers, I think he would actually be better than anything that we've seen from him this season. Obviously, bar on the left where he was doing very well last season. Every time we put him in as a solo striker, it doesn't work. We've seen Ten Hag, when we don't have a striker, dropping Bruno a little bit like a false 9, and having Garnacho and Rashford playing somewhat of 2 strikers. He was trying to do what Madrid was doing earlier in the season with Vinicius and Rodrigo, since they didn't have an out and out number 9. There is a world of that happening. It's just like a matter of, would we take that United with Ten Hag, or if we get another manager come in, would we be able to do that? Because it is very much of a doable thing. There's a lot of teams out there that are lucky doing that. Like Havertz isn't a striker, but a lot of games he's played in the midfield where he kind of inverted as a second striker next to Jesus or next to whoever was playing at the time. So there's things like that happen in the league right now. This whole idea of
Alvarez at City.
There was talk.
Alvarez at City. There you go.
There was talk of he wanted it with Rashford and Haaland this season, didn't he? He kind of wanted that to be that sort of partnership, as much as Rashford is on the left hand side. But I think he did want that. It's not worked, has it? It's not a partnership that looks like it's going to click at all. So, but for me, I know like he's talk of Jonathan David, and I think he's doing well. I think he come into the squad.
Is he out of contract? Or is he 1 year left?
He's got a year left, Danny, and I think. I
don't rate him at all, man. Yeah, no.
I think he's had, he's done well in France, and he scored goals, and I think there's something because I don't think we're kind of in that same. I'm not saying they're the same level, but like Spurs have struggled for years and years to find someone to come in under Harry Kane. I think we're going to do that, because I think Haaland, rightly so, should be our first choice number 9. And
I think the thing. Sorry, Double A. I think the worry is, can you trust Haaland with his injuries though? We've already seen this season, he missed games and stuff, and he's had this back injury, and next season playing potential European football. I mean, we got knocked out early, so he's heavy load, and we got knocked out early-ish in the League Cup. Do you know what I mean? So he's not had the same kind of load that he potentially have. In coming seasons and stuff, and I worry about him with his injuries, and already we're seeing at Manchester United, and can you really rely on him as our main striker? I feel like you've got to be alternating between two top class strikers and get to a point where.
I agree with that, and I think you have to look at this season and how unprecedented it has been for injuries. I don't think this squad, if Ineos are doing the jobs, a lot of that medical staff are going to get fucked off, because we can't have another season like this.
You hope so.
This is one of the worst.
Yeah, I mean,
but for talent alone, if we're looking at the talent alone and what I see in Haaland, absolutely he should be our main guy. And there was the stats flying around about how little shots he's had. Is it 29 shots he's had all season?
Yeah.
And is it like Haaland's had 83? Like, we don't create enough for him, and we don't create enough for strikers, which we know already. So I just don't see us going and getting another big striker. For me, I've said it to you guys so many times. It should have been Marcus Thuram. Him and Thuram on a free, and Haaland would have been fucking.
Yeah,
perfect.
man, that's true.
Would have been perfect. I don't know why we wasn't linked up with him at all. And listen, I know he was coming from Germany and stuff like that, and is that reputation of German strikers or players coming from Germany not doing well in the Premier League. But for me, as a free signing, he's done well. He's done well, so well for into this season. I just think it was a massive opportunity missed for Man United. And listen, I think
United never made them good decisions. That's the problem, man.
No, we did with Haaland. That's the thing we did with Haaland. The first one we've done.
As in free transfers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Eriksen. But then again, we're not really getting the best of Eriksen, are we? You know what I mean? These kind of legs have gone in that regard. You know what I mean? So United making smart free transfers. You know what I mean? We're like, we don't do that, man. Simple as that. Big up. I mean, also 88 in 99, we had 4 top strikers. Get Tony. Big up to you. You know what it is? Someone said about, who did they say? Someone else. I think someone made a good one here. Forgot if it's still here. Gurassi. No, not Gurassi. João Felix. Listen, I think it's going to be too much wages, João Felix, but he would be more of a second striker kind of type in that regard, man. But João Felix is a baller, man. But I don't know, man. I don't know where his head's at, man. Does he want to stay at Atletico Madrid? Does he want to leave?
I think it's good against Atletico on the weekend, didn't he? And semi-celebrated.
Yeah, he celebrated. Yeah. He celebrated, to be fair.
Yeah, he's gonna leave, but I'm not trying to deal with one of those. I'm not trying to, all these players that have issues at home, they have bad relationships with their clubs and they want to leave. I don't need one of these right now. I'm not trying to be Dr. Phil. I'm just trying to get the best, whatever is available in the market for whatever position we're looking in on a team that they're very obviously trying to sell, and he needs a big move. I'm not trying to go rediscover Wonder Kids from 5 years ago or 4 years ago and understand why they failed at Atletico and all that. Listen, we have Sancho that we're trying to figure out why he failed. We're trying to figure out too much shit at home. I'm not trying to add more to pile up more of that stuff. Just go get me a player who everyone wants, and we know that is going to be a good addition. No,
can I just point?
Yeah,
go on. Sorry.
No, go for it, bro.
Yeah, no, you're saying about the 4 strikers in '99. The reason why we were able to have 4 strikers and football work back then is because there was only 2 teams in the Champions League. So strikers wanted to play for the top teams because they only had a chance to get into the Champions League that way. Whereas the Italians, the Spanish, the French, they only had 1 team in the Champions League. We had like 2, 3, and so they could go to Italy, they could go play in Spain and go play wherever. Whereas now players don't want to. They want to be able to go and play in the Champions League, even if that means for a lesser team. You've seen that with players before. So this idea of 4 strikers, like Double A was pointing out a little bit earlier, that is kind of dead. I feel like maybe 2 strikers, but 4 strikers. No, that's madness. So that day of football's gone. That's
I was gonna say, Ash. Also, we used to play 2 strikers. No one really does a lot of 2 strikers right now. So having 2 strikers and 2 replacements, that's like having 1 striker and 1 backup. It's the same ratio.
Yeah,
and we actually don't have to go all the way back to 99. You could have just said 2013 because we had Robin van Persie, we had Chicharito. We had Welbeck, and we had Rooney playing in the 10, but if you needed him, you could have played him as a striker, as a second striker. So we didn't need to go that far back. But yeah, I do agree. We need to back up. I do. Listen, I do want to see us in a world where we have 3 strikers. 2 of them, we know they're going to be rotating with someone having a little bit more of a superiority. We understand that's the guy that starts, like a Haaland and Alvarez as an example. But I also do want to have okay, this young striker who's just there shadowing them all the time. Just traveling with the team. He's on the team sheet when you need. Sorry, on the with the squad when you need him. Just in case there's any injuries, he can be on the bench. You can rely on him. I need to go back to that. I don't want to go back to losing Højlund, and then it's like shit. Who's striker for me tomorrow? Is it Bruno false 9? Is it Rashford down in the 9? Or what are we gonna? Because we've had this issue for a while, especially with Martial being injured. The past few years, we had to go and get a Weghorst. When Ronaldo left, obviously the same thing. Even before that, how many times did we go into games with like Daniel James and Rashford playing as 2 strikers until we signed Igalo and stuff like that? We've had a striker issue for a while. And Højlund, listen, I think he's been doing well so far, but he's getting injured. And I don't think when you're getting this much injuries at this age, especially that's muscular injuries, is it gonna go away anytime soon? Now, I feel like a part of it obviously was because of the amount of games that we played and the way that we play, the pressing, and he does run a lot or whatever. Eventually, he will understand his role a little bit better. He will calm down a little bit. He won't just be running all over the place like any young striker does. Eventually, he's gonna understand when do you walk on the pitch, when do you actually have to run the pitch. So it might get better, but I don't want to go into a season again where I'm like, what if this happens? What if that happens? Because if you remember, Said, last season we did very well in the preseason, and what happened on the first day of on the first game of the season? Martial out.
Yeah.
We all were like, wow, he was balling out in preseason, and he was out on the first day of the season. So we don't want to go through that again.
Martial, man, is he even coming? What's going on with him, man? Is he still around? What's going on? It's mad.
He's walking around town with his missus, mate. That's all he's doing at the minute. That's all I'm seeing.
Yeah, he's chilling.
First time I've seen him in about 3 months. That I think. I thought
be low key.
He's doing good.
He's lost his head. He's wearing Adidas trackies with night trainers.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
mate,
He's lost his head. Do you know what I mean?
You know what?
Oh,
mate?
no,
What is he thinking?
right.
What is he thinking?
That's
a cry for help. That's a cry for help. That.
Luckily, he's not sponsored by anyone, man. That's the main thing, man. You know what I'm saying? So but you know what? It's true though, man. There isn't out and out number 9s that are people. Yeah, that was the one that people say. Benjamin Sesko. He scored a banger today though, but again, I watched him in the Champions League, man. He's not really convinced me enough, man. I think he still needs another year, man. And I think he's 21 now. You know what I'm saying? So I can't lie to him, man. I'm still not convinced by him. Tony, I think it depends on whether he makes his mind up. And like I said, others are just kind of like, you know what I mean? It's one of them where 43 million release clause, though. That's the thing, man.
Two young strikers, though, Said. You don't want to. You need some experience. And listen, we we clearly don't have the forward players around to help. It sounds mad to say, but that's why Kane would have been. I know it was never going to happen. I ain't daft enough, but if it was Kane and Højlund, imagine Højlund learning from Kane every single day what he could get.
Yeah,
the coaches are shit, as we can see. Benny McCarthy don't know what the fuck he's doing at the minute, and that's why I scream the strikers we had that have coaching badges, how they're not at the club. Ruud van Nistelrooy is doing fuck all at the moment. Why is he not working at Manchester United, doing something? Van Persie's at Feyenoord. He loves Man United. Go and get him and give him a job as a coach here. Andy Cole has got badges. Do you know what I mean? Like, just get these players in. Because I'd rather them be in trying to help Højlund than him have fucking Benny McCarthy, who's clearly doing fuck all. Do you know what I mean? So we need a bit more experience, someone who can help and guide Højlund. For me, being a young man, I think 2 young strikers. As much I could be absolutely wrong. I'm not saying it wouldn't work. It very well could. And these 2 young kids could push each other every single step of the way. Both wanting to be the main man for Manchester United. It could help us. You know what I mean? But I think you just want that experience and that know-how in the forward line, and someone who can help Højlund, because I do believe he could be our main man for 10 years.
Yeah, facts, 100%, man. But like I said, it's one of them, man. I don't know. United at the minute, we're just getting linked to so many players, man. Like today, I seen United linked with the two Wolves players. What's that? Joao Gomes as Casemiro replacement. It's a big one, if we're gonna sell Casemiro, we need a Casemiro replacement, man. It's a big talking point. Listen, I think Casemiro should stay, for me personally, for the mentality, for everything like that. But I do believe he will get moved on for some reason. I don't know.
I'm shaking my head under this comment, Said. I'm hitting by the comment, but I'm shaking my head when you said we need to keep him. Just so you know.
No, well, I think we need to keep him. I'll be serious, man.
100%.
We need to keep him.
No,
100%. Casemiro is needed in the squad.
He could go with his wages, bro. If this guy never came, we would have had Kane. I think Double A was just saying he wanted. Was it you?
But how do you know? This easy to say that Kane never might not have wanted us.
No, but okay, but yeah, that's different. But I mean, he was leaving anyways, and I'm pretty sure he would have wanted.
Plus, it was Frankie De Jong's money. It was Frankie De Jong's money.
If you go back to the Mike Keegan report that came out a few months ago, when he was talking about the insides in the club in Ten Hag's first season, he spoke about the Casemiro signing, and he said he wanted Casemiro after we lost the second game. And he said he can't go into the season without another DM. They told him, you do understand, if we do make this signing, number one, we're going to be close to breaching FFP, which means we're not really going to be signing anything major after that. And he knew that, and he knew the consequences, and he went with it. And he knew from there on, if there was any hope at the end of that season for us to get Kane, it wasn't going to happen. You got to go back and read the report, Said. It was all there. That's the same report that exposed that, what's his name, Anthony was valued at 20 to 25 million or whatever it was in the club for the past 2 years, and we went and spent 80 million for him. It's the same exact report. I feel like people just forgot the Casemiro part in this one, where they were talking about that and ruling out Kane. So he's the reason we couldn't make the Kane signing. We could even attempt it a year later. So he can go, bro. 350.
I don't know, man. Mike Keegan hype, man.
Bro, the guy's been injured. He picked up his third injury this season. Right before that's
because the medical department forcing him back. You know what I mean?
But he hasn't even been this good this season. His numbers dropped massively since last year. The only thing I really rate him for right now is his aerial duels. Not just his aerial duel. His heading in the box has been amazing. Every time we whip in a cross from a corner or a free kick, he's always on the end of it. Either he scores or he just gets it. That's the one thing I rate him for.
You know, he does those stuff here. He galvanizes the team. You know, when there's a team, the team looks stronger in and around him. Do you know what I mean? He brings those players together. He gets some play. He kind of raises the levels of players around him, and he does that because he's got that experience, because he's got the nous, because he's got the history and the pedigree of what he's won at Real Madrid and stuff. And I feel like you lose one of them, a general in the dressing room. They're hard to replace players who've got that kind of experience and that know-how. And I feel like with a team potentially having a new manager and a new culture essentially around the dressing room, you got to keep these generals like Varane, like Casemiro in around the team. And how invaluable is he going to be for Kobbie Mainoo in the next couple of years? And I feel like, okay, you're looking at the wages, but then there's even the experience he's got in and around the dressing room. And as I've said before on a few other shows, you've got his experience of like how life is on the planes, on the coaches, all that, and lifting the standards and speaking to the likes of Barada and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and saying, look, this is what we did at Madrid. This is what we do, at the top level. Do you know what I mean? And at United, we fall short at these parts. So Jim Ratcliffe and Barada and Dan Ashraf, they can go and consult Casemiro, and he's a great wealth of experience, and to lose that, to just give that away, I think it'd be a little bit short-sighted. I understand on the field he's had a few mistakes. He's looking a little bit soft with the ball at times. Gives it up a little bit too easy. But I feel like with Casemiro, he usually takes like 6 or 7, even 2-3 months to get back into some sort of rhythm. You saw that at Real Madrid, and you saw that at the start of this season. And when he got that long injury that kept him out for a while, that he's really not been able to get himself back up to any kind of form.
Winning games.
When
he came back, United were unbeaten.
I just don't see him. Listen, I don't see him next season being a part of our best 11 if we go and buy a midfielder. Because I think we're all talking about buying a midfielder.
But who?
That's not a problem, though, is it?
That's a good thing, though, Staffy. That's what you want. You want people to come in that are going to overtake your certain starters. That's how you build an unbelievably world-class squad. And what worries me about this whole thing about Varane and Casemiro is that you're wanting to get rid of the two major winners we have in this squad and keep substandard players.
I wanted to keep Varane. I wanted to keep Varane, but get rid of Casemiro.
But not yourself. But obviously, the talk is getting rid of these two. Yet, and I'll name these two because of the two I want to go first. But Maguire and McTominay can stick around. They've been here for several years and are failures for me. And yet these two will get a pass. Whereas the winners, who I would keep around for this squad, and it always worries me when one of the reasons why we need to get rid of them is because of the wage. I generally don't give a shit how much they earn, because they earn that much because of the stature and the players that they are. They deserve to have that money. If we can throw 350 at inconsistent Rashford every single, and back him, there's no reason why we can't back these two players who will stick around and galvanize this squad with the likes of Martinez, I will say it and get stick for it, but Bruno as well. There's a core group of experience there that I think we need to keep around. And then you start to bring in them players. João Gomez, I think, for me, one of the best performances I've seen at Old Trafford this season in that first game against Wolves. João Gomez, he was absolutely unbelievable in that game. Absolutely tore our midfield apart. If we used to come in, I won't be mad at that. But we need to be replacing players with better, but better than what you would say is our first 11. You could bring in a sweeping brush, and that's going to improve over Scott McTominay. So that doesn't mean anything to me. Do you know what I mean? But Casemiro, for me, it's just funny how he's had a bad season. I'm not going to get away from that. He's not looked as good as he did last season. But it's funny, as soon as he has a bad season, it's get rid. Like he'll never recover. He's 31. He's never going to get good again. Get rid of him. But yeah, McTominay scores some last-minute headers. Keep him on the bench. He's a good squad player. He needs to be around the place. Make it make sense. What do you want? Do you want someone who can do little bits of something, or do you want someone who's won the game? It will be great for young players, as Mainoo has said, and he said about Mainoo. I'd rather that. I'd rather him breed in the new people rather than Mayo, to be honest. That's just me.
100%. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when you look at it now, we're looking at that João Neves. He's 100 million release clause. He's a youngster, let's be honest, man. 19 years old, 20 years old. He's still young. Who else is really out? Today was talk about Onana. Yeah, can't lie to you.
Like Douglas Luiz at Villa. Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, but he's not a sitter though. He likes to go forward. He actually might want to go and attack. You know what I mean? So I don't even know if he wants to sit back and whatnot. He's more if you want a double pivot. You know what I mean? If you get a double pivot there going, then maybe, yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, we got to figure out. That's what I'm saying. It's very important for us to figure out how we're going to play next year. So we need to know what we need, because do we need a sitter or do you need a box to box? Because when you look at Mainoo, I always look at the midfield, how it's being built around him, because he's our future. I don't care what anyone says. I've been saying it before he even came back from his injury, and now he's proven it. We go into next season. He's your main man in the midfield. Do you go get someone who sits, or do you get a box to box? Do you get a destroyer, or do you get some type of regista? It depends on how people are looking at it. That's why Unana's a shout. Palini has a shout. I heard Greg say that also. There's a lot of shouts, but that's why it goes back to my point. I understand, by the way, what Double A said, but to be spending 350K a week on someone who I don't think is going to start for me next year, that's the part that just doesn't sit well with me. Because I understand the leadership part, I understand the experience, all that. Yes, I get that, but I don't think I need to be spending 350K a week on that. I want that in my team, as well as paying that money to get top talent for the future and for the now in this team. Not someone who's regressing, because I do think this is probably your last good chance to get good money for Casemiro. Because when Saudi comes in for him, that's probably because a year later, let's be honest, he can only decline from here. So are you ever going to get a chance to sell him for good money and reinvest again? And there's a lot of good midfielders for sale this summer, which is why it's a good window to, you know what, let me go get rid of one midfielder or two midfielders. Like McTominay, like you said, obviously McTominay has to go. The reason I don't talk about him because it should be common, it should be common knowledge.
Common knowledge, yeah.
So it is one of your best chances to go and rebuild your midfield this summer. You
know. Yeah, facts, 100%, man, 100%. Frankie and Onana, listen, Frankie De Jong, man, he's staying, man.
the Frankie thing.
It's one of them where
because we had Frankie at home. Remember that one stream I told you we had Frankie at home. We don't need to get another Frankie because we have Frankie at home, aka Kobbie. Like we have Kobbie Mainoo. Go get him someone who complements him.
It's not someone who's Frankie De Jong, man. Relax, man. He's Kobbie Mainoo, man. He's Kobbie Mainoo. He's not Frankie De Jong. Like, what are you doing here, man?
So he's Kobbie Mainoo, man. Go get Mainoo DM. Don't go get him a midfielder who doesn't know how to defend. That's all I said. And I'm gonna say that.
What a player, Mainoo, man. You know what I mean? It's
crazy control the game versus Liverpool, bro. The guy's 18 and he's controlling games. Go get him someone who's gonna do dirty work next to him. Not a Frankie De Jong. Bro, apparently he's the second highest player.
You go with a double pivot with Kobbie because Kobbie, you know, because he can sit as well. Do you know what I mean? And he can track. He understands. He intercepts really well, and he reads the game really well. So you get 2 6/8s next to him. Do you know what I mean? And double pivot, and then it's looking like a strong team. You seen what Arsenal's done with Jorginho with Declan Rice. Declan Rice not playing as deep now, and they're looking dominant, aren't they? So it's something that can be done. You get Kobbie, you get another Kobbie essentially, and like a Frankie De Jong who's got the passing range and got the ability. Maybe leaves us a little bit weak defensively, but yeah, for sure, I'm not too sure we need just a sitter. I don't think Casemiro was ever a sitter as well. You looked at him at Real Madrid. Casemiro was never just he had players in around him. And speaking about experience, look at Kroos and Modric. How long Real Madrid kept hold of them two. You know what I mean? In and around the dressing room, in and around the team with the young lads coming through. So
the difference is, Shana, and I'll tell you this: the difference is he had 2 players in that Madrid team that were good on the build-up versus us right now, where we have 1. Now, I trust Mainoo, don't get me wrong, but I don't want him to be the only one because we play with a 10. Madrid didn't play with a 10. They had a 6 and 2 8s, and he didn't have to do the build-up for him. Like, they would build up, and he would just go bump forward. He's a 6, but, like, he's not a traditional 6 where he's behind his 8s. That's what a lot of people, I feel like they just neglect that. When you look at this team that we have right now, who else do you trust other than Mainoo on this team to pick up the ball from the defenders with his back to the pitch? So when he picks up the ball, looking at the center backs, he's the only one that you trust him not to get pressed and to make the right pass. Bruno doesn't do that because he's a 10 and it's not his job anyways. Casemiro's not good at that, and we've seen what him and Amrabat did in that City game when he just gave him, he passed him a hot potato, and obviously Amrabat did what he did, and we conceded that goal. We need one more of these. And I agree with you. We do need, I think we do move with a double pivot. That's why I said I think we need more of a Rice than anything else in this team to complement Mainoo. Because I feel like in this England team, I feel like eventually it's going to happen because you're going to see them play together. But people are going to see how good it is when you play 2 profiles that are different but complement each other in a Rice and a Mainoo next to each other. We need to be looking for something like that where he brings in energy. He could defend. He could win tackles. Is Rice the best passer in the world? No, but he could do a better job in that role than what Casemiro does. And this is why I keep saying we need to go get a profile like that if we want to build a midfield for the future. Because we have one side of the puzzle, we need the second piece.
So what you do with the likes of like people like Ericsson? You know what I mean? He's still around and whatnot.
Ericsson. How's that a question?
God, yeah.
Gotta go.
Listen, respect to Ericsson and what he achieved in his career.
But you know when he came on against Liverpool, though, you see the passes that he made, man. Bro,
did he make the pass for Rashford's chance in the last?
Yes,
bro. I'll give him that. That was like
unbelievable.
He jumped in the DeLorean and went back in time because that was unbelievable. That pass. But
I believe you know what I said about him in the beginning of the season. I told Said this. I said Ericsson this season should play nothing more than a Mata role in his last season for United. Remember when Mata came on for 10 minutes each game? That's it.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even be every game. He would just come on for 10 minutes when we needed him. We're playing against a loaded defense. They're just sitting behind. We just need an extra body who's good in passing in the final third. That should be Ericsson's role. Days of him playing in the six, in a double pivot and all that, he can't be doing that. And he can't be playing more than a half of football. I'm sorry. Brilliant player, but
he's come out this week, and he's saying that he's not happy. He spoke to Ten Hag. He wants more.
Yeah, he says he's not happy.
You know, they're gonna when you're 31, you know, coming to the end of your career, every minute means more. Do you know what I mean? So I don't begrudge him coming out and saying,
it's mad though, isn't it? Like these players. Sorry to cut you off, like, but Casemiro 32, I think he is now, or 31
in the year.
Yeah, Ericsson 31. We're going on like these guys are mega old, yeah. But when they come to Man United, these man just turn into like these, like, I don't know, man, like slugs, man. It's crazy.
They
Like
got too much mileage in their legs.
Like, yeah, but it's a problem. Like, Man United don't manage the, like, broski. Like, these men are meant to be, not saying they're in their prime yet, but they're in that kind of like time where, you know, they're just, everything's effortless, you know? Like,
Manchester
United, easy.
Manchester United. Have you ever seen a picture of David Moyes when he joined United to when he left? But
I know.
Manchester United ages you, and he was there for what, 9
I know.
months? Something mad like that.
Retirement home. Right, big up to that guy.
Staffy's saying
retirement home, man.
Staffy's just saying then about who it'll cost too much money, but João Neves at Benfica, I think, would be him and Kobbie together could be something.
100 million.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's too much money. But if we could get him, them two would be, because one would sit, one would go, and I just think that could be that double pivot that could eventually be something unbelievable. But
going back to what Sai was saying, sorry there, double A, about ages and players. Look at Fernandinho at City. That, you know, he was playing till what, 36. You know, playing title-winning teams. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And Boston it. We just can't do that.
To be fair, it does help. It does help when your team keeps the ball. That matter of possession that City.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
Versus look at our midfield right now. But do you see our midfield?
Protective players,
bro. We lose the ball. We directly go from the front line to the back line. Like, do you not remember against Liverpool? It was a ping pong game. Like, every time we lost the ball, I just saw them running out of the defenders, and I'm like, what happened to what should be in the middle, which is called the midfield? Like, there was no midfield, bro. We're one of the worst teams off the ball. Like, we lose the ball on the transition. We're chaos. Like, you look at it, you're expected to concede every time because everyone's out of position. So you can't have players like that playing in the midfield like this. The system doesn't really cover up for the deficiencies whatsoever.
What I was going to say, Stav, is I think we need to look more at the centre backs. Like, we get ourselves a decent pair of centre backs in. Do you know what I mean? You know, that solidifies the team. That makes the midfield a little bit more solid, a little bit more comfortable on the ball, and be protected. Do you know what I mean? You know, players stepping up in front past the number 6. Do you know what I mean? On the overlap, you know, where Fernandinho would drop in and players would step ahead of him, and we've not got that. You know, we're scared to death to play any sort of high line because of Maguire and Varane. I know Varane historically had the speed, but his ability to turn now is not the same as it once was with his knees. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that's where we need to be looking more so than I mean, don't get me wrong, we definitely need a midfielder. We need strikers, midfielders. We need all over the park, really.
I mean, we do have one only. We do have that, Alessandro. He's about it. That does that. But you also get that job from your fullbacks, because Dalot's been doing an amazing job at that. How many times does Dalot invert into the midfield and carry the ball into the final third? He's been doing that amazingly. Maybe his final third end product needs to improve, but he's been the one that does that. So I do agree with you on that part, but we only have like 2 players that can do that. We'll see also what happens with
100%.
Shaw, because Shaw was actually not so bad at doing that, but he's always been injured. And we're going for a left back this summer as well. That's what I'm saying. We have so much change coming into the summer.
Yo,
I'm not
it's
gonna
crazy,
lie, it's
man.
gonna look crazy. It's like when you renovate a house and it looks nothing like the old house. This is what we're gonna have to go through. We have to be
Yeah.
a team that's unrecognizable from last season, because we have such
This
a
co-
mess this season that we need to clean up. Go ahead, Said.
No, I was gonna say Zico, big up, man. He said the structure of the team is all over the place. That's because of the system the manager decides to play 3-1-6. You can't press with 6 players and have a low block. Like what? You know what I mean, bro? Like I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see what the team is like when you have a manager who has a correct system and you don't leave gaps in behind. Like how do they deal with having the ball and making sure that they have to keep the ball as well, rather than relying on transition and running around? Like it's going to be interesting to see certain players how they survive and if they do survive, because I don't think a lot of them will, man. Having that realization that you can't just run around and it's like a playground, you know what I mean? Like basketball game. You know what I mean? Liverpool, listen, I'm not taking anything away from United, but they came to our level, man. They made it a basketball game, which we're used to. You know what I mean? And we can somehow find a winner. But other than that, broski, it's peak, man. We gotta change the way we do things, man. 100%. Lincoln Lawyer says, "Are you prepared for this manager staying? Get ready, bro." You know what it is, yeah. I'm not, but I am as well. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it will happen a change because I don't believe we're gonna win the FA Cup, and I don't believe we're gonna win. We're gonna get Champions League football. So
Wait,
I
Said,
don't
can
know.
I ask you guys a question?
I hope we win the FA Cup, but I don't know.
Can I ask you guys a question on this topic? Because I was having this conversation yesterday. If we win the FA Cup, does that warrant Ten Hag one more year? And
No.
you finish 5th. So you finish 5th, aka Champions League, and an FA Cup. Does he deserve one more year?
Could have. No, not for me.
Do you know? A caveat to that is, I think I would like to see how he would go under proper. Because we talk about the structure, we talk about competent. It's just having competent people above him, and as much. But for me, again, it comes with sort of conditions, because what I'm desperately in need of is this clear out from Ineos, is to clear out this coaching staff, because we've still got coaches from Moyes, from Van Gaal. How can we not move on? We can't progress and be, the forefront of everything when we've got coaches that have just been with us for our worst period. We need to clear house. Like I don't know if it was on Unfiltered. I was talking to you, Ash and Saeed.
Yeah.
The goalkeeper coach I saw once, he was levering the ball into the top bins against the players. He's still there. He was there on Sunday, and I forgot to get a video of him. And I was like, "How the fuck are you still here?" Like, staff. Honestly, like I've seen him warming the keepers up, because my seat is like 8 rows, the Stretford and like the goal near the online with the penalty spot. And I was watching him warm up the keepers, and he's levering this ball top bins. I was like, what is your aim? What are you actually trying to do here? He's still at the fucking club. And this was like 5-6 years ago. So look, I would like to see everything cleared out and new coaches, really the forefront of everything. But that probably comes with new training ground, new stadium and everything like that. But if he was to win the FA Cup and we got 5th, and this new structure above him is there, I could give him next season to see what he could do. And if it means that we don't get Southgate, I'll fucking absolutely take it all day long. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if they give him one more year. That's the reason.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't
be surprised. Because if you do win an FA Cup, it means you beat City or Chelsea in the final. At the end of the day, yes, Chelsea are not that good this year, but you still be a big name in the final if you win that FA Cup.
It's difficult to sack a manager who's won a trophy every season he's been at the club. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult.
Exactly. That's going to be a good argument for him. And finishing in Europe again. Like, don't get me wrong. People are going to say, but Louis van Gaal got fired after the FA Cup. Louis van Gaal didn't finish in the Champions League.
No.
And we know how the Glazers operate. The biggest thing for them because you remember that season, we invested a lot of money.
Yeah.
They needed to make that money back from Champions League, and he didn't.
But to get Champions League football, how many points do we need, though? How many points do we need to get Champions League?
We're only 6 behind Spurs.
Aston Villa's got a horrendous run. Or Aston Villa got a horrendous run. You got
ours isn't great though, mate. Ours isn't great. To be fair. We've got some tough games. got tough.
Listen,
games.
I don't know if we'll finish 5th. By the way, me asking, I'm just doing devil's advocate shit right now because I want to get like I'm trying to pick your brains out. This is not me saying I think we'll win the FA Cup and I think we'll get Champions League and I think he deserves it. I'm just asking because I really want to know what everyone's mind at because that's actually a possibility. We could be sitting here in a few weeks talking about, okay, we're in Champions League football right now. Does Ten Hag deserve to stay? Okay, we're going to the FA Cup final versus when do we play Coventry? Sometime in April, right? Let's say we'll beat them because we're the favorites, and somehow Chelsea knock them out. That's a better chance for us in the final because we've had an amazing record against Chelsea in the last few years. We could be possibly sitting here in a few weeks on this same show on Saeed TV talking about winning an FA Cup and finishing in Champions League. So I'm kind of trying to prepare us to something that is a possibility. So we could be having these conversations. I just don't know. I really don't know how people are going to react to it.
Yeah, this comment here is probably the spot on. Villa and Spurs will drop more points, but will we capitalize on it? That's exactly 100%. It, man. You know what I mean? That's probably the biggest thing to mention. Will we capitalize on it? You know what I mean? Will Man United set the precedent? You know what I mean? Will we go and beat Liverpool at home, Chelsea away, Brentford away? I think that's 8 p.m. kickoff.
Arsenal at home. Do you know what I mean?
Villa got Europe, by the way. I just want to remind you.
Villa got big games at home. You don't have to worry about them. Do you know what I mean? The big games at home, we actually tend to turn up. Do you know what I mean? And we put in some kind of performance. You know, so I feel like Arsenal, we might nick something there. Do you know what I mean?
Wait, isn't that sad to say? Arsenal, we might nick something. That knocks me fucking sick when you say things like that. Mate. Do you know what I mean?
You don't realise it, and his performances against the big teams, innit? You look at the top 9. Do you know what I mean? Away from home, we've had one win against the top 9 under his tenure away from home. It is horrendous, and he's been out for. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, his tactical substitutions, everything about the man's been horrendous. But somehow he's got himself a League Cup and he's getting himself to an FA Cup final. And we don't even know how. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, looking at you take those 2 cup wins away from him, which I know it sounds nonsense, but he's got nothing there that shows that he's capable to take this team anywhere. You know, he's not improved the player. Do you know what I mean? What does he do well? He's got, you know, his tactics generally, you know, are poor and confusing to the players. Not only the players, why the players are playing poorly, but also pundit staff, people around the club and stuff like that, and the fans. We can't see what's going on. He fails to motivate the players. He fails to get them to buy in. His press conference, he's got no charisma, no kind of like energy from the man. You never get excited by him like you see the top managers like you've seen with Fergie and Klopp, Pep. You know, managers that tend to get you excited. You know, what does he do well? I've said this a few times on the Unfiltered. Do you know what I mean? That I've yet to understand what this man does well. His talent identification's poor. What does he do well? Do you know what I mean?
And that's the thing that stops fans backing him and giving him more chance. We know that. Guys, jump on that Z comment then, Saeed, when it says why do you want to be in the Champions League if you're going to get embarrassed or be in Europe?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been to Old Trafford at a Champions League game, Z. Don't know if you've ever been. There's nothing better than being there when it's dark at Old Trafford, the lights are on, and that ball's the big thing in the middle of the pitch is getting wafted, and that music is on, mate. Because nothing fucking beats it. I know,
man. But
look at Saeed smiling now, me smiling, just thinking about those memories. Do you know what I mean?
I'm like, yo, man, getting embarrassed is not
literally
good, man.
I don't give a shit, mate. I forever want United to be in the Champions. The best game I've ever been to at Old Trafford was when Ronaldo scored that hat-trick against us in the Champions League. It's the best game I've ever been to. Yeah. We got embarrassed, and it's the best game I've ever been to because I saw R9 get a standing ovation at Old Trafford. I want United to be in the Champions League if we're shit or if we're good. I don't care because there's nothing that beats it at all. So that's why.
Is that why your Wenger Brazil jersey? Does it have R9 on the back?
Well, it's the trading top, but if it was the shirt, it would be. But he's favorite non-United player. So yeah, you know, it's one of them, man. Barthez tax. Crunking, you know what? I have a thing about Barthez, right? That when he played for United, he always used to let French players score against him. Henry, plenty of times. Will Tordy let him do it. His very first game at Old Trafford, he let Saha score two against him. He had a thing. He let French players score against him.
Proper Frenchman.
Yeah.
Still take him over Schmeichel, or the cartwheeling bastard. Let me tell you.
Crazy, but listen, We're gonna wrap things here, man, people, man. It's been a crazy, crazy show. Been a very, very good show as well. Make sure you lot like the video, man. I think we've just passed over 400 likes, I believe. Been a good show. Late vibes, you know what I mean? Just chop it up. Any Man United talk. We're just here to discuss it all with you. Big up to everyone locked in. Make sure you smash a like on the video. And Mino says if Eric Ten Hag was at Ajax, LFC would want him to replace Jurgen Klopp. Who knows? Who knows?
I really did.
It's difficult to kind of say if that would be the case, man. So who knows? Who knows? But listen, man, Double A, big up to you for coming on, man. Thanks,
Yeah, man.
always, man.
Appreciate you asking me on. Good to finally meet Staffy as well. I'll be on a stream with him. Yeah, man. Make sure you're supporting these guys. Make sure you're following Saeed. Obviously, 100k soon come. Best chat on YouTube. Yeah, man. Good to see. I'll see you on Sunday as well. Are we doing Sunday actually?
Yeah.
Being a thing.
Yeah, we'll do Sunday. We'll do Sunday. Yeah, definitely.
After
We'll try to
after Brazil smash England, I'll be up for it.
Yeah.
Intro with the
Definitely, man,
Samba and all that. I'm having a bit of that.
Yeah. Trust me, we'll do that. We'll do
Double
that.
A with the
100%,
Samba
man.
moves. I want to see
Yeah,
that.
man. Yeah,
Samba. Big up, man. Ash, big up, man, as always, man. Love for coming on, man.
Oh, no, pleasure as always, Said. Thanks for having us, man. And a pleasure speaking to Staffy and Double A as well as always. Talking about United, nothing better, is it? Do you know what I mean? It may not be the best news with Southgate and all that, but just conversing about a club. Do you know what I mean? I love the culture, everything about it is amazing. Go check out my Man United versus Liverpool vlog. Do you know what I mean? It's a madness that it's the scenes on that were incredible, unbelievable. What a game! And check out the boys as well, Double A and Staffy as always, and Saeed. Thank you very much always for having us and the chat for your contribution. But asking for one more thing, just a like. So all you got to do, hit that like button, boys, and let's go.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. People, make sure you lot do that as well. And yeah, people, we're going to redirect it to Staffy. He's going to be live, chopping it up a bit as well, man. Staffy, big up, man, as always, man.
Then big up for having me, bro. Listen. It's usually this. I finish work. I get the Saeed TV invite. I shut my laptop at work. I turn my computer on, and I'm here talking about United with you guys. So it's always a pleasure. Even though, as Ash said, it wasn't the best news. No one wants to talk about Southgate, but we love talking about United, whether it's good or it's bad. We definitely enjoy it, and I hope everyone in the comments enjoyed it. And like we said, just smash a like on the video. Saeed's been putting in this immaculate work. During the season, and listen, no games, international break, no problem. There's a lot of content to watch, so make sure you show all of these guys love for the content they be putting out. And the site said I'm about to go live in a few minutes, so hopefully I'll see some of you guys there showing some love as well.
Yeah, man, definitely. Big up to everyone locked in. I'm going to be in London tomorrow, so I don't know if I'm going to be doing any content live. I might drop a video, so make sure you just check out for notifications and whatnot. And yeah, man, I'll catch you lot later, people, man. Take care. Bye-bye.